Welcome back. We are covering 25 mistakes billionaires have made. And this video, we're going to be covering number 20, which is Jack Cowin. And we'll get into him in just a minute. But before we get started, do me a huge favor. Click on the positive feedback mechanism on whatever platform you happen to be listening to this on, whether that be YouTube or Apple iTunes, whatever that is. I greatly appreciate it. It also lets the platform know that you're listening and you appreciate it as well. And it's also just an encouragement to me. So thank you for all of those who have already subscribed. I do appreciate it. Again, we're inching up here, one member at a time, and that's what it's all about, right? Seeing some growth and not hitting it all at once. So anyway, again, we're going to cover number 20 here, which is Jack Cowin. And so he is an Australian who basically owns, competitive foods. And I think his net worth is about 4.3 billion. And again, as I've shared in all these videos, that will change, and that number will move up and down depending on how a stock is typically doing, or how the currency is actually doing. So many factors in terms of why somebody has a net worth that fluctuates, right? So, but anyway, that being said, one of the things that really stuck out to me when he said this, he also, by the way, just as a side note, owns or runs the Australian Burger King franchise and company over there. So just again, a side note on top of his food conglomerate. So, but one of the things that he said, which I think is so appropriate. A lot of people don't do this and are scared to do this. And I think with risk comes reward. It comes with huge failure as well. And again, I've shared, in many prior videos, how I've tried many times and I've failed pretty spectacularly, especially once in my life with a company that I started back, at the peak of the .com bubble. Didn't happen quick enough and didn't have enough funding, all the, things that typically happen to a lot of companies. So, but again, I did take a risk. I, quit my job and bootstrap this, and I've taken other risks as well, right? But I appreciate, my nature, and it's not in everybody's nature to do that, right? And again, if you're married to, you got to have a spouse that is also has risk tolerance similar to yours as well, right? So I think what he says here is pretty, confirming to me, and somebody who is a risk taker. And not everybody is, but this is a guy who has 4.3 billion, right? But for him to his statement is, if he had to do it all over again, I'd be bolder. I'd take more risk. The fear of failure makes you more conscious. The fear of debt makes you more conscious. So I would have more confidence in myself that I could find a way through the maze. And I think that's a pretty spectacular statement, for, a guy who's accumulated this amount of wealth in his life. So, again, I appreciate that sentiment. That being said, and when you go through the failure piece of it, right, it's painful, it hurts, and as you said, as he said, rather, it makes you conscious, right? Or conscious, not conscience. And then the other thing that he added is, if you're not more bold, you'll go broke. If you make a mistake, you make a misjudgment, it's easy to do, and so, again, I really appreciate those statements. I think we all make mistakes. We're going to make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes in the future. You're probably made a few, and nothing is unrecoverable. It might take you a little bit longer than you had anticipated to hit your goal. But again, this is what the series is about. I want to encourage you, regardless of where you are in your journey, you're going to make mistakes. You hear it from Jack Cowin, take risks, be bolder, right? And again, I think that, this is very encouraging for where I'm currently at in my life as well. So again, I appreciate Jack and what he said there. So, but that's going to do it for this video. And again, do me a favor before we leave, hit the positive feedback mechanism, as I mentioned earlier and requested earlier. Greatly would appreciate it. It's, like I said, it's an encouragement to me, and also lets the platforms know that it's being watched. And that's going to do it. And we'll talk to you at the next video.